I've been thinking about this for a long time. I even recently wrote a blog post about it, but I don't know that I've really captured my feelings on the subject, so here I go again. Now, as everybody knows, I'm a huge proponent of personal responsibility. The world doesn't owe you anything. Nobody has to make you happy, and the quality of your life is determined almost entirely by your actions. Now, I'm not saying that bad things can't happen, because of course they can. I'm not saying that you can't be treated unfairly, because that certainly can happen, and we can and should address that as it occurs. But to think that you get to sit around and whine because you don't like the consequences of your own actions, and everyone around you has to gather around and throw you a pity party, that's not rational. Now, the reason this comes up, at least most recently, is because I was listening to the radio on the way to work one morning, and some lady calls in and says she's suffered some kind of personal tragedy, and she wants to know if she can get away, and these are her words, mind you, with not paying her mortgage because she's depressed. Now, I don't know if she can afford it or not, she didn't say, but that's really irrelevant. She wants the whole world to stop while she's dealing with her emotional problems, and she thinks that the company she has a legally binding contract with ought to just throw up their hands and not expect her to pay the bills that she's agreed to pay for a while. This person is an idiot, and thankfully, the radio host told her that much. If she stops paying her mortgage, eventually she will get evicted from her house, no matter what sob story she comes up with, and that is as it should be. Now, I wouldn't really say if these were rare cases, but they're not. There are a lot of people who seem to think that coming up with an excuse, whether that excuse is true or not, somehow earns them the right to ignore their legal and financial responsibilities. Now, sure, on rare occasion, for a legitimate problem, you might talk your lender into giving you an extension, and that's fine. You took the time to plead your case to the people you owe money to, and they agreed to help you out. Those aren't the people I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ones who think that just because they made up some bullshit sob story, that they automatically get to do whatever they want without consequence. And those people are wrong. Of course, don't tell the liberals or progressives that, because they're not interested in responsibility. They fall for sob stories all the time. Oh no, those poor people. And let's be honest, we know who it is the overwhelming majority of the time, but these poor people, they're just having problems. We should cater to their every whim. Well, they are having problems, but the majority of the time, at least in my experience, most of those problems are caused by their own irresponsibility, by them trying to live beyond their means, by their screwing up their own lives and not holding themselves accountable. And if these people were accountable for their decisions, most of the time, they wouldn't be in this mess in the first place. Now, I'm not trying to be heartless. Where people have legitimate problems, I don't mind helping them out on rare occasion, but neither's usually actually true. Oh no, their mother died. Again. 4th time this year. Oops, they're in the hospital. Again. Their check didn't come. Again. I'm sorry, but not only do I not believe you, I really don't care. And the reason I don't care is because the contract you signed, whatever it might have been for, said nowhere that you don't have to pay if something bad happens. Now, if there's a legitimate escape clause in the contract, by all means use it. But otherwise, you agreed to do something, you're expected to do it, regardless of whatever excuses you come up with. And I want to point out that it's not just the poor that are trying to do this. Another caller on the same show said he got pulled over for driving 104 on the freeway, which is a reckless driving felony. Now, the cop that pulled him over wrote down he was doing 80, which is a ticket, but not a felony. And the asshole's trying to figure out how to get out of it entirely. He admits he was doing 104. He just doesn't want to be held accountable. He was saying he was going to lie and say that his wife was in the car in labor. He doesn't even have a wife. Where the hell do these assholes get off trying this? It's an utter lack of responsibility that's being taught in our increasingly liberal society. You don't have to do anything. You can just lie and make excuses to get out of being accountable. And we wonder why our society's going to hell in a handbasket. Anybody who thinks otherwise just isn't paying attention. And this is why I think liberalism is ruining this country. People are being told they don't have to keep their word. They don't have to honor their obligations. They can just do what they want to do. And when someone expects them to pay up, they can just make excuses, lie through their teeth, and the world just owes them stuff anyhow. But that's not how it works. I don't care what economic bracket you're in. It's never going to be the case. How do you expect to better yourselves if you refuse to do the minimum necessary to do so? But of course, these people don't want to better themselves. They just want free stuff, and they're being told by the left that they shouldn't have to worry about it. They should just do whatever it takes, lie, cheat, and steal to get it. And when you point out the problematic nature of this policy, the leftists just call you names. They tell you you're racist. They tell you you're sexist. They tell you to shut up because the survival of Western culture isn't important. It's just as evil as you are. These people are imbeciles, and not only are they imbeciles, they're dangerous imbeciles. They're contributing to the downfall of society. So the next time someone has an excuse for why they can't keep their obligations, think about it. Ask yourself if it seems legit. Ask yourself if they've done it before. And then tell them that the contract doesn't deal in excuses. It has no provisions for sob stories. They need to keep their promises and honor the terms of the contract or suffer the consequences. If more people did that, then society would slow its long and horribly destructive slide into the abyss. I'm not heartless. I'm just realistic. Maybe more people ought to give that a try.